Welcome back to So Bad It's Good, presented by Betches Media. Today, I couldn't be more excited. You guys know by now, I have been in the villa in Fiji now, what feels like forever. It's going to end next week, and I need to get back to my life. But today, hailing all the way from Sydney, Australia, she came in on day 2 as a bombshell and left the island on day 24. This show has doubled its streaming ratings in one season, this season, and I think in part it's because of her. She may have left the villa, but she has stayed in our hearts. She didn't come here to put socks on centipedes. The one and only from Love Island, USA, Liv Walker. Liv, welcome to the show.
Hi, guys. Hi. Thank you so much for having me. The socks on centipedes. That's so good.
I loved that line. It's stuck with me. I didn't come here to put socks on centipedes, but you kind of had this energy about you your entire time that I think immediately made you a fan favorite. And I think, my first question was, were you shocked coming out of the villa to see how much support and how much love came your way? Because everybody fell in love with you.
I was so shocked. Coming out, I thought there was going to be very mixed reviews. After seeing the tweet, I definitely thought that there might have been a different kind of idea to what people thought of me than what it is now. But I cannot be more grateful and thankful for everyone's support. But it was definitely a shock.
Yeah, but also not just the audience, but everybody, especially the women there in the villa. There was this epic moment of all of the ladies standing behind you, and you even left saying, "I feel like I have sisters now." It felt like, and it looked like a really honest moment. Do you still feel that way? Did you form a sisterhood?
Yeah, 100%. I still stand by my comments. I say that these girls will be in my bridal party for life. They are so amazing, and what they taught and brought out of me, I can't thank them enough for. And we had each other's backs. We always had a laugh. They're really ride or die girls, and they bring the best out of everyone by saying the hard truth sometimes. And at the end of the day, they're a shoulder to cry on. They're super intelligent. So it was a pleasure and an honor to be able to meet them and have them part of my life now.
Well, speaking of them being bridesmaids at your wedding, I was just looking at an interview with you where you said you were potentially interested in Connor. I talked to Connor a couple weeks ago. Should we hook you up with Connor?
Oh my God. Connor was, in terms of that response, it was who haven't I talked to that maybe I would, if I was to redo it again, go Connor. He's such a great guy. He's hilarious. He has great values and morals, but I don't know. I love him to death. I haven't really seen anything romantically try at all, so I'm not going to say it's off the tables, but
yeah.
Maybe.
That's all we need. That's maybe as good. You've been out just a couple days from the villa, and it is such a fishbowl environment where you don't have your phones, you don't have contact with the outside world, and you're just there to form relationships. And it's this wild social experiment. What is it like though, being on the outside? Is it just so much to come back to check back in with your actual life when you've made this villa in Fiji your life for the last month?
Yeah, it was definitely hard. It was super upsetting, not through the circumstances. Obviously, I never wanted to leave, but the first couple of days, it was weird not waking up next to all of your friends, sharing a bed, not having the Love Island God wake me up every morning. But I'm extremely grateful and happy to be back. But I haven't seen any episodes yet, but I'm definitely going to tune in. Watching it and seeing the behind the scenes, I'm going to be like, oh, no, what the hell? But I'm definitely, upset to leave everyone. It's a weird experience, not having your phone too, or not really knowing time for the better. I'm like, this is weird. I'm not very good at it at the moment, but it'll take me a couple of days to get back into the swing.
The Casa Amor experiment is so dastardly in so many ways, and the men really failed in big ways with Casa Amor coming back, and we're still seeing the ramification, what happened because of that, and all the women have kind of, for the most part, taken the men back. When you think about men and women, which I think this show highlights, did you come away learning anything about the opposite sex that you didn't already know?
I feel like you, through the experience, you get to find out that people are very vulnerable in there, and it's you wear your heart on your sleeve and you don't have the outside world giving you opinions and stuff, which I really like. I mean, you make the decisions on what you think is best. But in terms of what I found out about the opposite, no, not really. Like, I loved how in touch all the boys were with their emotions. I mean, like, I think that's a big thing that in society sometimes we see that men aren't always seen to be allowed to cry or kind of be so emotional and stuff. And in during this show, the boys were just as emotional as the girls. And it was kind of like nice and refreshing. Sometimes everyone was too emotional that we were all like, what are we doing? But no, I think I nothing really stood out to me. But that's a really good question. I haven't thought of that.
Well, I mean, let me know if you in a couple weeks. Let me know if
Yeah, I
something comes to
will.
you.
I'll
The
be like, I found
Kaylor,
out this.
yeah, I know. By the way, you're going to learn a lot in the next couple of weeks. Kaylor, I worry for her, and I think we as an audience worry for her. She wears her heart on her sleeve. She loves Aaron, and she says also you're her best friend, and you're not there anymore. And I know you haven't watched or potentially kept up yet, but like, were you okay with Kaylor taking back Aaron? Because that movie night was brutal on top of brutal on top of brutal. Her, like, every time I thought it was over, they would show another clip where Aaron was kissing Daniela again. I mean, what was your advice to Kaylor? And are you still kind of like, yeah, team Kaylor and Aaron?
I mean, yeah, so I haven't seen a lot. Obviously, I've read some things that Casa wasn't as bad. Like, we didn't even see the worst of Casa in movie night. I mean, she had it really hard. I feel like it was the Kayla movie night at one stage.
Yeah.
I was like, this poor girl. Um, in terms of like Aaron and Kayla's sitch, I think she gave him the opportunity to say everything when he first came back after recoupling, and he, to his words, forgot or lied about it all. And I don't like that aspect about it. I think that she is someone who puts other people's feelings first, and all she wanted was honesty and respect, and he should have done that from the start, kind of like Cordell did. And I think that aspect that he doesn't do that kind of, I'm like, don't really have a lot of respect for you. Plus, you're on camera. Like, do you think she's not going to find out?
Yeah, that was the weird part. That's all the guys, like all the guys across the board. I was like, you guys know how Casa Amor works. They're all going to see this. So how do you think you have this free ticket to ride? You will have to answer for this.
Yeah, and if you're not answering for it now, you're going to dig yourself in a deeper hole that you haven't said anything for this long period of time. That when they do get out and watch it, they're going to be like, "What the fuck? What the fuck, Aaron?" Like, so I think she is very confident in herself. She knows what she brings to the table. She has conversations with him that I don't see, we don't see, that like she knows the intimacy, but I think she does deserve the best. And is it him? That I don't know.
Well, listen, they closed off. I mean, like, he asked her to be his
I
girlfriend last night, and that's so they're boyfriend girlfriend now.
Yes, he has been wanting to do that for a while. I mean, like, we had a conversation about it just before I left. So I knew that was in the works, but I don't love how sometimes he'll, in the heat of an argument, will throw in that, like, oh, I love you, by the way, to kind of like
Yeah.
change it up. I'm like, I'm watching you, and I'm like, don't know about that. But
You're known.
I love her, so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're known for speaking your mind. I mean, that's what we saw your entire time in the villa. Is that how you always are in your actual life? Is that how you are as a friend? Are you always saying what you feel, or did this bring something out of you being there?
No, I would say I'm very much that sort of person that I like someone who will say it straight up and honest to me, because I would rather have it, as the saying goes, like the sting now than the bite later. Like, I don't like carrying it on and like,
Yeah.
he said this, or what should I do? Just go and say it. Like, be straight up forward, say how you felt. It cuts half the middle ground of arguments out, I do believe. So I am very much someone who does speak my mind, and I say it truthfully and honestly. And I am like that on the outside. And it does, I think a lot of the girls, we did say the hard truth to each other. And that was really refreshing. And I feel like true friends do that. So yeah, no, I do it on the outside.
Yeah, I think that's really truly what we loved about you and what we'll miss in that villa. No, I mean, seriously, do you have any, I mean, do you have any predictions on who you think is going to win Love Island and who you would want to win? And are those two separate groups of people?
So honestly, I have no idea who's going to win it. Like, I think that the girls, like the OG girls, I think there'll be one of them that will win it just because they're feel like their relationship's stronger. Like Rob and Danielle, I feel like it's still early days. Same with Sierra and Harrison. But I personally think Cordell and Serena will win it. I
Really?
do. But I think then you've also got Nene or Janae and Kenny that are so strong. You've got Nicole and Kendall that are so strong. I mean, I want my girl Kaylor to win, but I feel like Aaron shot himself in the foot of what he's done to
Yeah.
Casa. And I don't know how genuine he is. So I don't think they'll win it. I don't. But
I really do think he shot himself in the foot at Casa because they were the first couple that like really were sticking together. And I thought he was going to go into Casa and not really do anything or not go into Casa at all. And so I really do. And by the way, it's
same.
weird. He lost, he won the Traders UK. So I thought he was like a little smarter in terms of gameplay with, but and speaking of gameplay, because we do forget that, this is for love,
It
but
is a
it's
game.
also a game. How much did you
Mhm.
think about the gameplay and how many people around you were thinking intensely about the gameplay, or were you just following your heart the whole time?
To what I believed, no one that I really spoke to, like, we forgot it was a game. Like, you get caught up in the moment. Like, you just forget that, like, oh, okay, maybe I should have played it safe. And I feel like I can't fake it. Hence why probably I went through a lot of couples because I'm like, nah, it doesn't work. Where I could have maybe been like, I'm going to stay. We could fake it to the end. But I would say no one in who's left in there, to my belief, is faking it because
Yeah,
you get caught up. You forget cameras are there. You forget your mic. And like
yeah. That I mean,
you're just caught out.
everything is pull you for a chat. Let's talk. Let's do this. You don't have your phone, so you're just. How tired are you of chatting? And I don't mean right now with the podcast, but like you're just focused on these group of people talking. Does it ever get exhausting? Of like, I am done talking to you today, dude.
I mean, like, I think I can talk to a brick wall. Like, I just talk, talk, talk,
You're
talk, talk,
talking
talk,
to one
talk.
right now, Liv. Yes, you're talking
No,
to a
you're
brick
not
wall
a
right
brick
now.
wall.
Yeah, no, but
No.
I think it's just I just wonder if you get exhausted sometimes about trying to dig deep into these personal lives.
I mean, I will say that coming to like the end of my couples and stuff, seeing everyone else be strong with their couples and like obviously at the start to get to know people, you have those like start conversations that no one enjoys. Like, what's your favorite color? Or those sort of stuff that you're like, oh, small talk. Get rid of me now. But um, so those conversations you kind of get like bored of, but everyone is so interesting and it probably doesn't seem it, but you learn something new about someone every conversation. Like Kayla won a watermelon eating contest when she was 12. Like, what? You like every new conversation I had with someone, I was like, oh, I didn't know that. Oh, Leah has like 2 farms with like pigs. She's got that. I'm like,
Yeah,
so every conversation with big personalities, some flew better, like went better than others, and we got along and we talked about absolute rubbish. But it would no, I wouldn't say I was ever bored, but maybe that's because I just like to talk.
yeah. I mean, you're
I
great
don't
at
know.
it. Speaking of the men and the potential hookups, the people you were matched with, you had Rob, Hakeem, Miguel, Nigel, and then Kane. Kane was like a firecracker at the end. Were you kind of shocked coming out of there? So many people were like, "Oh, you and Rob, unexplored love," and it was because you guys became friends. But I think all of us on the outside world was like, I thought he was going to come back into Casa and you guys were going to explore a potential relationship, which didn't happen. But I think, were you okay with that? Is that still something of like, I would have loved to have seen what had happened? Or you're like, I'm totally good. He's my buddy.
I think we're just friends personally. I think we were both single at the time. We obviously find each other attractive. So we are just like flirty friendship vibes. Seeing everyone else coupled up and when we we're both single, we're like, why not? You know what I mean? But no, I think he likes what he has with Daniela to my belief.
He
So
looks
I think we're
bored.
just friends.
He looks
Is
bored.
he? I haven't
He
seen it.
looks he looks a little boy. You know how like Rob will get that kind of dazed look and you don't know what he's thinking. Like, and
No.
I know, I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He's kind of doing that now with Danielle, and I can't tell if he's just not into her. He seems like he likes somebody for a couple of days and then he'll be off of it really quick. And I think like the real test is like he's got to find a spider and see if she'll like play with it or something. Did
Or
he ever make
Aaron.
you exactly? Yeah.
That'll know.
No. You have some
Yeah.
of the weirdest challenges too in this game and some really disgusting ones as well. Was there like what was the worst challenge for you where you were like, I can't be doing this?
I am so competitive. So the challenges where it was like on speed and time, I was like, loved those. Like the 4th of July when I hated the putting the food in each other's mouth, like I hated
So
that of it.
gross.
So gross. But I loved how it was a race. Whereas every challenge we did was like a theme park. We had amazing outfits, slime. I mean, some were more heated than others, but I loved Burning Man theme one where I loved sweets. So we got cupcakes and cake, and that was fun. The outfits were cute.
Yeah, no, it's really funny. And I'm really curious what this last week will bring everybody. Um, Going into this, how did you get involved in the show? Because I've talked to a lot of Islanders and, you know, a lot of them are just from the US. You're from Australia. How did you get involved in this?
So a casting director reached out to me last year. I was studying a bit in Boca Raton, and she was like, "Oh, would you be interested?"
Oh,
And due to circumstances, I just didn't go last year. But they reached out again this year, and one thing led to another, and I was in Fiji. And yeah, that's kind of how it went. Like, just did the process of it and stayed true to myself. And yeah, here I am.
how do you prepare for something like Love Island? Did you go back and watch any previous seasons? Like, what do you try to get a tan? Like, do you try to get a good bathing suit? Like, how do you prepare to go in this for potentially like a month and a half?
Yeah, so I had watched seasons in the past, not fully. I feel like I didn't. You can't really go in with a plan because you don't know everyone else's personalities. I feel like if you stick to a plan, you're out because you can't mold properly. They tell you what to bring and stuff. Also, we share between the girls. Like, there's wardrobe there that's really helpful. Um, you know what? You just pack what you think would be a month's holiday, what you think would work, what you think you'd need, and you just go. I didn't have a plan. I just wanted to, my main thing was just stay true to myself, go with my heart. And yeah, I don't think anyone had a plan because if we had a plan, I don't think anyone, you saw how emotional it was.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have done that.
Well, people are fixated on like the nuts and bolts of it, of how it all works. Like people are fixated on the food. Like they're like, oh my God, the toasties. Like, oh, you're always eating toasties and like, oh, avocado toast. People really like, how much can they drink? I mean, it seemed like you could only eat avocados, pancakes, gummy bears. It seemed like a really weird
Yum,
selection
yum,
of
yum.
food. Well, I mean, was there one thing that was missing that you're like, why don't they have this? I'm so sick of eating avocado toast.
No, they're extremely generous with everything. I will say we do have lunch and dinner. We don't just snack. We do love to snack though, our bunch of people. We want to chat with everyone and we don't want to stand and spend our entire time in the morning having breakfast or cooking breakfast, or the girls have to get ready quickly because otherwise we'd sit up there for hours. So avocado toast is just easy to make. Like, cut an avocado, boom, bread. There you go. Look, I've done a gesture. So, and we love to snack. All of us had a sweet tooth. So we would always eat gummies and stuff. But we do have lunch and dinner, and toasties were just kind of like a debrief night, kind of
Yeah.
have a comfort toasty.
um there were so many memorable moments of this season, and you got to watch it firsthand, and I was always wondering, like, do you go to bed and you're like, I can't wait to wake up to see how Aaron tries to get Kaylor back, or I can't wait to wake up to see how Serena goes in on Cordell? Like, what was the most couple of the most insane moments that you were able to like witness firsthand? And I wonder if they match up with what we thought was pure insanity.
I feel like every night something went on. And like you'd go to bed going, what the hell is happening? I wonder what this is going to do. Or like, I don't even want to think about it. I want to have a good night's sleep because it's been a stressful night. I feel like there was some very memorable moments, and there were times where like we went to bed and we didn't solve issues out. But a moment like I didn't hear a lot about when Rob jumped in the pool
Oh
after
my
that
God,
thing,
that was an
but
amazing. That was
it was
amazing. He hid.
incredible. Like, yeah, that that was incredible. So going to the bedroom and being like, "Where is everyone? Where is everyone sleeping?" Like that was like, "What the hell is going on?" And people were too tired to be like, "I'll tell you tomorrow." And I'd be going to bed like, "What?" So that was
What about
definitely up there.
what about that moment when Andrea was voted off? And Aaron started crying because he thought he was going to leave the villa. What was that moment like to watch in person? Because I mean, by the way, Aaron cried more over Rob than he ever did for Kaylor.
Thank you, thank you. Yes, he did. Um, I don't know what's going on there, but that was such an intense, every emotion under the sun that night. Like it was really hard for all of us to go to sleep, and we all just wanted to go to bed to have a clear mind the next day and like talk out situations with a clear mind, because obviously the moment was so heated. We had to send home a good friend of ours, someone in a couple. We also had two girls feel like that they should have also been sent home. We also had like the guys, like Hakeem left. Like it was everything possible that everyone could felt. We had people feeling happy that they were saved, but also feeling bad that they feel like it was a shit show. And we were all, especially us girls, super emotional that we had to do that decision, and that was the outcome. We expected the boys to be upset, but not kind of like that, because
Yeah.
I think in the point of time, like when it was playing out, it was kind of the boys forgot that like they had to make the decision. It wasn't like would you can either choose to not send anyone home or send one. Like that was not it. And
Yeah.
I think they just got caught up. So no, that night I forgot about that. Maybe it's been like it was
You
intense.
blocked that out. Yeah. What was your happiest moment in the villa, your saddest moment in the villa, and your angriest moment in the villa?
Okay. My happiest moment in the villa was with the girls and the challenges, I would say, or just when we were all a big family. Like we had a lot of fun when we just lightheartedly joke, even around the kitchen and stuff. Saddest moment in the villa would have to be seeing Serena and Kayla so upset after Casa and probably leaving. I would say they were really upsetting. And my most angry time would have to be hearing that what's his name, Aaron had lied to Kayla and not told everything. That made me really frustrated. And I would say like emotion, like seeing probably when I had that argument with Hakeem.
Oh my God. Oh yeah. I talked to Hakeem a couple of weeks ago, right when he came back. And I think he was still kind of processing the whole experience. But yeah, you got into it with Hakeem a little bit. And I was like, damn. By the way, I would pay good money to watch you watch the Casa Amor episodes just to get your full, like, I just need you talking underneath what you're seeing because so much happened.
I
As we
might do a
wind
live reaction of it.
Oh my God, please do a live reaction. I think that would be perfect. Well, speaking of that, like on the outside, you're kind of a social media star now. You're an influencer. What are you going to do with this kind of power that you have? Have you thought about where we go from here? Because people genuinely like you. What do you want to do with this? Do you want to do anything with this? Would you like to be on TV again?
Thank you, by the way. I didn't really think like the magnitude of love and support that I've had since leaving. Like I didn't even expect it, and I didn't go in with like, okay, when I leave, this is the plan I'm gonna have. Would I ever go on TV again? I would never say no. I learned so much about being on Love Island and about myself. So maybe a little bit of a break, a couple months. But going from here, I don't know. Hopefully, like I mean, it's a great opportunity if given the time. I love what people's opinions have been of me and how much they think I was a girl's girl. So that I'm very grateful for. But yeah, I'm just gonna go ride the wave, catch up with my friends, see where. Who knows? I think that's the joy of it.
Well, we're going to announce that you're starting a new podcast right here, right now. It's the Live Show. I'm going to be a co-host sometimes, but we'll announce it right now. No, I really
Please.
think you've got such a future here that I'm kind of excited to see what is potentially next.
Oh,
A
thank
couple
you.
more things. You know that
Yes.
feeling you get when you really like somebody and you have a crush and you get those butterflies? Did you ever
Yes.
have full butterflies? It doesn't mean that, like, obviously things didn't work out, but did you ever have full butterflies where you're like, oh my God, I think I'm feeling something?
I mean, I definitely had moments in there where I was like, "Ooh, like this is going well." Like, oh my God. And all the girls were like, "How is it? How is it? How is it? How's the couple?" And I feel like your emotions get like heightened that you're like, "Oh my God, yeah, it's going really well." So like this could end up well. There were certain people, but I didn't have the falling love butterflies that say I would say Serena and Kayla have, and like Nene and Nicole are getting, and like Leah as well. Um, but yeah, I feel like everyone did at one stage. Is it lust or love? I don't know, but
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Well, and you're in that environment where you're primed to feel something. Um, Kendall and Nicole, they are kind of like coming up as like they're fully together now. First off, is it true that Kendall is a really bad snorer?
Yes, but he's like Miguel is worse. Miguel is so bad. Like we would have to stick Miguel's nose strips on him midway because he'd forget, and we were like, shh. Kendall is a bad snorer, but he picks and chooses when he wants to snore. It's whack how that works. And Cordell,
Wow, Cordell
so
too. I
bad.
thought it was just Kendall. Well, Kendall and Nicole, do you believe in their romance? Because they seem like they're fully closed off. But Kendall, you'll see this in Casa Amor. He was, and you saw it on the movie night. He was kind of urging these dudes to go be their baddest selves. And I didn't know if that was a strategic thing or he was just like broing it up. But it was really wild. Do you believe in Kendall and Nicole because they really seem closed off at this point and going for the end?
Yeah, I never thought of it. Maybe it was a strategic way that he did that in Casa. They are the same person. I swear they're obsessed with Star Wars. They do like the same job. Like every time they see each other, they're so like in love with each other. Like literally, they're all over each other all the time. So I do think it will work. They're both beautiful people, but I've never thought of it like
Yeah.
that. It's
Well,
interesting. I feel like
I hope
he
I
is
didn't.
someone who's a good people pleaser, if that makes sense. But maybe I'm
Oh yeah,
naive and can't
no,
see
no,
it.
no. It totally makes sense. He's kind of like the perfect guy. Like he does everything perfectly. So it's really weird. But Miguel, on the other hand, Miguel and Leah, Miguel seemed like this was another confusing thing. And Casa, he was like, "Oh, these girls are built for me. They're made for me." And then he comes back and like wants to be with Leah again. And I was so confused.
Mhm.
Do you think there is any kind of lasting relationship with Leah and Miguel past the Love Island USA experiment?
I do. I think Miguel's quite a softie at heart, like, and he's quite wise. He kind of gives off that fuckboy mentality a little bit, but um, no, they really like each other. They're very confident and they're very mature in their conversations with each other. But they literally bring the best out. I don't know how much is shown of them two, but they're literally at ease, and every time they're in the room, they bounce off each other, make it at heart. So I really do think they could make it work. I really
I don't
do.
trust him. I don't trust him. I got to tell you
You
that right
don't
now. I don't because
really?
he seemed like he liked every girl there. And like he just was like, and then the Nicole thing happened, and then Casa happened, and then Leah, that was hysterical. Well, I mean, poor Connor had to watch them play tonsil hockey out of nowhere when Connor was with Leah. That was an insane moment. Anyways, also,
Yeah, that was bad.
if I could pass on a message to these women, if we could like put a skywriting thing, like a plain skywriter, what message do you want to give the women, your sisterhood right now, where they're at? Is there any advice? Is there any message that you would want them to know? Like, I'm on the outside and this is what you need to know.
First would be like you all look hot as hell, full stop. Like you all look good, don't worry about it. Like you look stunning. To back their emotions, have each other's backs, and yeah, I feel like they all know already. You know what I mean? Like we form such a strong connection in the end. They know what they've got, and yeah, I would fuck as in like what I've read and seen.
Well, yeah, like, is there any like piece of information that you found out that you're like, oh my God, we had been talking about this and we suspected it, but now we found out and I need you to know just so you know going forward.
I'd be like, You all look hot as hell, full stop. Don't worry about it. Full stop. By the way, everyone's saying there's more that we didn't see in Casa. Exclamation mark, exclamation, find out now and press these boys. Love you lots, Liv. Then I'd do that.
Poor poor Aaron just jumps into the ocean and like just swims away really quickly.
Aaron, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. He'd probably take the mic off and run to the train track again.
And then finally,
Rob would
did you guys, like, when you left, do you have a plan to meet up after this is over? Because it's going to be over in a week and a half. Where are we meeting up? What are we doing? Are we doing a vacation together? Like, how are you going to stay in touch?
I am definitely going to see them and stay in touch. I'm going to LA on the 23rd, and we're all going to like spend a bit of time there. We're going to go to Epcot, drink around the world. That was a big thing we all wanted to do. Then we have the girls' world tour, so we want to go to every place where we're all from. But yeah, no, I love those girls, and I'm definitely not going to lose contact with them. And I have been in contact with some of the other girls that have left, and even the boys too. So we're all a family at the end of the day. Like, you can't just forget about that overnight. Well, I can't.
I love that. And I think that's why this season has been so successful. And you guys, I know it sounds crazy deep into the season, but you can still watch. You can still catch up super easy. We've only got like a week and change left, but this has been an amazing summer and season to watch you. And you're a big part of that.
Thank you.
So thank you for coming here. My audience is really loving the show as well.
Thank you for having me.
I can't wait to see what you do next.
Thank you so much. I was honored. Thank you.
Thanks, Liv.